Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, where it's another pea-soaked, foggy morning here this beautiful Sunday morning, and there's more of a breeze blowing in. And while fishing is still pretty darn good with some mammoth fish, big bluefin tuna being taken, we've got some weather on the forecast. In fact, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, not looking all that great, although it will be fishable in many of the zones, and I'll get into it in more detail in 1 second. Some of the other zones will be out of the question. We'll cover that and so much more because you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Is that good on a cold morning like this? It really tastes great, feels good, kind of warms me up here this morning. Don't forget, hit that like button if you would. Make sure you share these videos with a friend. Tick the bell and you'll be notified when there's new content. And also subscribe to the channel. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Always appreciate your support. You pushed us over 4 million views on YouTube alone, and I deeply appreciate that. Some dates that you need to know about. October the 20th, we're on a 5-day trip on board the Independence. There's still room. IndependenceSportFishing.com. November the 3rd, we're on board the Horizon for a great day and a half trip. That's going to be a fun one. HorizonCharters.com. And December the 2nd, mark that day on your calendar. That's going to be our Christmas party, and it's going to be a lot of fun in Redondo Beach, California. It's going to be one you're not going to want to miss. All right, and we are also brought to you by Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. John Lopez will take care of all your heating and air conditioning needs. All right, great to be with you all. Thanks again for joining us. As always, it's my pleasure to spend some time with you. I'd like to ask you for your thoughts and prayers for Captain Eddie Leland. I've made it very clear to you that he needs them right now more than ever. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. All right, let's jump into this thing right now, and I'll take you across the border a little bit further. How about we go down to the Bay of LA, where my friend Abdul Ryan is down there with another dear friend of mine, Manny Mercado, and they said, man, the shiny small lures or a dropper loop has been instant on the yellows. The yellows are biting full speed by 10 a.m. every single morning. Those guys are limited out on yellowtail, and they're catching some other stuff to go along with it. Just great fishing down there in the Bay of LA for Abdul and Manny and the rest of their group. They are having an absolute ball. They have been going back to the Bay of LA over and over and over again, and I think that says it all. That is one venue, one destination that is great. It's so much fun to fish down there, and they're putting the wood to the yellows and other species in addition to that. And also, you get that Baja hospitality when you're down there. The people of Baja, California, Mexico are so lovely, so kind, so generous. I love going across the border and fishing down there in that neck of the woods. Ensenada area, as we have been describing to you. And if you're watching us from around the world, from the Mexican-American border, it's about 70 miles down the coast. Beautiful little coastal town, gorgeous, absolute beautiful scenery around the Punta area, rugged, beautiful Baja coast. Anyway, down in that neck of the woods, if you get offshore, you can come up with some bluefin tunas, we've been telling you, or yellowfin tuna, or kelp patty dorado, or yellowtail on the patties also. It's not wide open. They're going to get this wind also, starting to manifest late on Tuesday, on Monday, and then it'll be pretty good down there in that neck of the woods by Wednesday when it all comes down. Yesterday, we had some good fishing. Leon Orozco. Check out those bluefin tuna. Not big fish, but plenty of them. They limited out on the BFT down there. And then as you come inshore, you start to find copious amounts of bonito. It's been really, really good down there on the bonita. Sammy Susare with that catch. Nice catch there. And we continue to see some sand and calico bass. Also, good rock fishing if you want to turn toward that. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. If you go offshore and you can't find that right kelp patty or find those fish that want to bite, you can come back inshore and play around with the bonita and rockfish and all the other stuff. So some pretty darn good fishing going on south of the border. We'll come up here now into Gringolandia in the United States of America, and we'll talk boats from the border down there in San Diego all the way up to Ventura. In fact, the Endeavor ran out to Cortez, Tanner Bank region, where there has been a bite on big fish that has been phenomenal. I mean, look at the size of those fish. The last Endeavor trip had 9 bluefin. One of them weighed 280 pounds. Joe Martinez, who's going to be on our trip tonight, had 141-pound fish, 110-pound fish. Make that 142. Joe will kill me for stealing that pound away from him. He said daytime bites were hard to come by. They'd see the fish boiling all around. It was all over the place, and they wouldn't bite. They couldn't get a bite in the daytime on some of that, although they did have some kite fish. They also had some short biters on the kite, but ended up with 9 fish, a 280-pounder, lots of big fish out there in that Tanner Cortez Bank area. Some long-range boats with similar kinds of scores, even a little bit more fish in some cases. You know, the forecast for that region out there in terms of our weather, it's going to go to spit here starting Monday afternoon and running through Thursday. Now, that's a long-range forecast. You never know how these things are going to play out, if it's going to actually be that bad, but we'll watch it for you very, very closely. But it's looking like it's going to get pretty snotty out there in that neck of the woods. The horizon yesterday, hey, we're back into the yellowfin tuna. In fact, the Polaris Supreme has over 100 yellowfin tuna. They're in the middle of a 5-day trip. We're starting to see that YFT again. It disappears, and then it comes back. It's mostly, I want to say, 12 to 20-pound fish. The bluefin about that same range. Horizon yesterday, I talked to Ricky Perez. He said he had 26 bluefin tuna, 15 to 25 pounds, 40 yellowfin tuna. That was 25 to 50-pound fish, according to Ricky. They lost probably 50 fish, and they were still hanging fish when I got that report from him going into sundown last night. Gorgeous sundown, or sunset, I should say, last night. It was beautiful. And, man, I'll tell you, hanging fish and getting into a late bite with that gorgeous sunset, there is just nothing better than that. Again, I have to admonish you, if you're going on our Amigo trip tonight, bring some 20, 25-pound fluorocarbon, www.opsonusa.com. You want to have that. You also want to have your 40, 60-pound, and a 2-speed reel with 100-pound, just in case we do some night fishing. Right now, that weather is going to be a little bit iffy. Now, there's an inside area east of San Clemente Island we call the 43. Cat's out of the bag on all these spots. So around that 43, and there's been some good fishing there. A lot of limit-style fishing. Several boats like the Highliner, 23 guys, 46 bluefin tuna. Several other boats limiting out on smaller bluefin, 12, 20-pound fish. Some a little bit bigger than that. Even see some smaller fish than that. Long drifts, plunker bites, which mean you got to choose a good hot bait and fish lighter fluoro, and even a number 4 size circle hook will get the job done for you. So keep that all in mind. That is going to blow up also, but it's looking like it's going to be fishable. Maybe a little snotty, a little sporty, but definitely fishable. And sometimes these darn fish bite even better when the weather comes up. So fingers crossed on our trip and anybody else who's going to be out here in the next few days. You guys are also fishing for rockfish in between. If they limit out on bluefin tuna, they may go rock fishing. Big old giant, beautiful fish right now. I know they did that on the Endeavor. Several other boats have been doing it. So you might want to bring some cod sinkers along with you. Hopefully you'll get your limits of bluefin tuna, which is 2 fish per rod. Maybe you'll get into an even better bite on the yellowfin tuna. That's been coming on again. And remember, that's 10 fish per rod in U.S. waters on the yellowfin tuna. Dorado up here, 10 per rod. Not seeing a lot of that. An occasional good kelp with some flatheads on it, and also some yellowtail. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation very, very closely. Now, there's also been some bluefin and yellowfin for the local boys here in the LA Orange County area, the Newport area, but it's been really tough. They've been seeing it, but it hasn't been biting that well. And man, trying to find a spot of bluefin, if you got this kind of weather, is a little bit on the difficult side right now. You definitely have your visibility really, really not so good here with this kind of weather. Sometimes you'll break into a patch where you have some pretty good visibility, and later on in the day, when some of this burns off, you get a little bit better chance. But that is just making it even more difficult right now to locate these fish. And again, while they've been seeing fish, it's been spotty. So a lot of these guys now are changing it up and starting to fish rockfish on the local area. Islands, we continue to see some pretty good fishing down at the Coronado Islands. A few yellows, calico bass, but as I say, nobody's looking at the islands. Clemente, nobody's really looking at that. Few bass, yellowtail, and then Catalina, same thing. Few bass, occasional yellowtail, mostly rockfish there, and then up in the Channel Islands, tremendous rock fishing. But the weather is going to go to spit here really, really soon. It's going to get really nasty up there, and you may be able to get your Monday morning in, but by Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday, it looks pretty nasty up in the Channel Islands. These are long-range forecasts. Things change, so stay in touch with the latest right here with Friedman Adventures. Coastally, as we've been saying, there's still some bass biting down there in San Diego, Oceanside, Dana, and all the way up to Marina del Rey, but it's spotty. Just a little bit of calico and sand bass here and there. Most guys are focusing on whitefish, sheepshead, and rockfish in over 300 feet of water and doing pretty well on that. They're able to provide you with some of the best fish that you could ever possibly want to make a fish taco out of. Man, fresh rockfish, nothing better than that. Channel Islands been fantastic up there. The Island Spirit up there out of Ventura Harbor, sport fishing. Cody Rogers doing his usual fine work. Just missed on limits of the rockfish up there. The Coral Sea out of Santa Barbara. Excellent limit style rock fishing. Several other boats with limits of rockfish up there in that neck of the woods also. Fort Bragg, California. Man, I got to mention that again. Pete Grossbag, great captain. He's in San Diego, but he's got the Controlled Chaos. He's in communication with that yacht, and they're out looking for bluefin tuna. BFT started to show. Remember previously, we were catching albacore there, and we were catching some big eye tuna there. Now it's starting to switch into a bluefin tuna bite. So that's pretty remarkable if you ask me. Some crazy stuff going on. All right, my friends, we'll keep you in touch with the very latest. I'll be on board the Amigo tonight for a 2-day extravaganza. I can't wait. I'll be at the landing at 5. My friends, Greg tells me dinner's going to be more like 6:37 right there in our Friedman Adventure Studios. You can come in, leave your gear with us, have a great meal, and then we'll push off and see what kind of adventure awaits us. The last one was truly incredible. All right, have a great one, my friends. Don't forget, October 20th, on board the Independence. November the 3rd, on board the Horizon. December the 2nd, our Christmas party. Like, share, subscribe, tick the bell. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. God bless you all. I appreciate all of your support, and I hope to see you really, really soon.